Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. This is a series where I play chess every day and strive to reach a chess rating of 1800 ELO. And I play good games, bad games, and we post them for you guys all to see and for me to record my progress. So if you guys enjoy my content, please go ahead, like, subscribe, do all the things that you can do for free to help me out. It really does. And I appreciate you, and we'll get right into today's game. I recorded this one. I thought my camera was on. I've been having some technical difficulties here recently. I had a video where my audio didn't work, and yeah, this one I swore I hit record and it was not recording. So we played with 88.8% accuracy in this game. My opponent played with 80.8. We played this one kind of directly after yesterday's game, so I tried to record a few ahead of time and I got a little behind. So this one is it's a pretty decent game. My opponent was a little lower rated than me. They were trying to get over that 1200 mark, which I know the struggle, dude. It took me 102 videos to get there. But yeah, we got to this point, and here we go. London, basically kind of symmetrical. I took here, messing up his pawn structure. I played this move just to give my bishop a square to go because I really wanted to develop my knight, and I just didn't know how he was going to play it. I think this bishop move is not a good move because I can just play c3 and you have to get out of town. I developed my knight. He brought his knight in the center. I didn't like that, so I took it. The better move is to not worry about it. And if he wants to take me, that's fine. But this actually is threatening to trap the bishop, so, you know, this move, he goes here, and then we play that, and the bishop's trapped, so I actually like that. But instead we go for this, and instead of bringing my knight to the center of the board, it's actually better to bring the knight here. But we went for this and traded down some pieces. I think I had a little advantage if I did bring the knight here because we could go for the break and my knight can actually recapture again. If he doesn't, we can takes, and then my knight captures the pawn. So I think we would have gotten a pawn out of that at least. I castled here, and it's a bit inaccurate. It wants me to immediately go for this, which I saw in the game, but I think I've been having chess coach lessons, and castling is one of my #1 priorities, and I think that it's never a bad move to castle unless you're castling into attack. So maybe it is sometimes a bad move, but usually it's not a bad move. All right, I backed the bishop up here. The bishop did not need to do that. I could have given this check. This is a super weak file, and yeah, the king would have had to move. Then we could have moved the bishop. But I ended up in this scenario where we traded off the dark squared bishops. Me taking was not even the best move. It actually just says take here. And I guess the thought is if he takes my bishop, I can recapture with my rook, not the pawn. So that's actually pretty clever. I didn't pay attention to that detail. But this ended up being where we're at. I played best move queen to g4. My opponent slides his queen over to the e file and protecting the pawn. My next thought was to bring the rook up to f4 and put more pressure on this, but he can just simply double up. I don't think I have much there. He could also... he actually can't play this move unless he wants to lose the pawn because I'll trade. So I mouse slipped my... this was a mouse slip. I meant to move this rook over to e1, not d1. But it is kind of what it is. And funny enough, he like mirrored what I was doing because I guess he thought that I might try to push the pawn. I don't know. I mouse slipped it. So I brought my rook up here to put the pressure on the pawn. He actually pushes the pawn. I take, he takes, I take. So we're up a pawn now. He threatens my queen. I just brought my queen over to trade the queens. This will double my pawns, but we should have a winning winning endgame. I would be up a pawn, and I think we can just win this pawn immediately as well, being up 2 pawns. So I take, and here we go. I mean, he doesn't really have any infiltration squares here. He could bring his rook here to try and win this pawn. That is a move. He does this, which is not his best move. Yeah, I was about to say even this is just better. I was thinking about doing this, but I'm not going to win the pawn if I do that. So coming into the 7th rank would have been what I did in that case, if that's what he did do, giving up the pawn, which would have been fine. He didn't do that, so I brought my rook here. The computer wants me to bring the rook to the 7th rank still, stopping his king from coming in and just kind of keeping his pieces tied down. I could even just start pushing the pawn then, and I think we'd be completely winning. This was also inaccurate. It wants me to, again, come in on the 7th rank, and yeah, I mean, if his king comes over this way, we can take the pawn. If his king comes over to try and attack my rook, we can just take the pawn. So he'd need to back up somewhere like this or something, and then we can continue with our plan. I missed that kind of thought. I knew that I would give up this pawn, and I wasn't worried about that, but I did want to win his pawn so that I could push this passed pawn. This was a little bit inaccurate. It actually wanted me to give the check and just give up the pawn right away, which is fair. I was trying to hold on to it for as long as I could, and I knew that this would happen, and I didn't mind trading this way. Like, he needs to take my rook, and then I take with the king, and then we're protecting the pawn. So he moves his rook in this case, which is not his best move. His best move would have been to, I guess, move it over here. I don't know. Maybe threatening something like that. This rook is pretty sweet right here, stopping the king from coming forward. I brought my rook to the 7th rank and decided to start trying to win pawns. This was a silly move. I moved my king forward, not to protect the pawn or anything. I just thought maybe it was better to have my king forward. But I forgot that after he takes the pawn, he can just check me, and I'm going to come back. So I didn't need to do that. It was kind of a waste of time. But he takes the pawn. I moved my rook over, taking the pawn on g7, also threatening to take on h7. He gives me the check on e4. I back my king up, best move. He comes over to attack my a-pawn. I just push the pawn, locking up everything. He can't play rook b4 because it is very defended right now. So he can't really get in unless he goes for a pawn break. I took h7, and in this position, I thought this was a great move because the king cannot go anywhere. Like, the king cannot go anywhere. He can't. I mean, I like this. I thought it was cool. So I knew the king had to go to like one of these 2 squares, and I was like, I don't care which one he goes to. My rook here is sweet. And my follow-up after that was g4 and just throw the pawn all the way down the board. And I think I'm pretty positive I'm winning there. So that's exactly what we do. The computer didn't like the rook move very much. It just said it was an okay move, but I liked it. I thought it was great. The computer wanted right away to go the computer wanted right away to go g4. So instead of me bringing the rook down, it wanted this immediately. And I understand. I mean, I thought what I did was fine. He takes the pawn. He gets a little greedy here. Like, I was like, man, like, probably taking the rook is your best bet here. I mean, it's completely lost regardless, but also the pawn is hanging, and I think that, it might make you feel like you're keeping things alive. So the thought is if he takes this, I played the move in the game. We just go forward, and if he comes all the way back, I think that this works. Yeah, yeah, you're just not in time. So, even if you move the king forward, yeah, you'd have to take, and then promotes. If you take, I just promote. I mean, you'd have to. There's nothing to do. So we played a pretty good game there. Pretty solid game. It said we played like a 1700, and we had a great opening, a great middle game, and a great end game. So it's nice to see that. Opponent played like a 1450. I think they played really well too. And I think they'll be 1200 in no time because, I mean, that was a pretty solid game by them. It's just hard when you get those passed pawns down the board. They're just so strong. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm thinking about buying a new mic. You guys say it's a little quiet. I do have like the cheapest possible microphone that exists, so maybe I'll look at getting another one for better audio quality on my videos. And yeah, that's all I really got for you guys today. We are doing all right. We're over the 1200 mark. Got a new peak of 1209 by 1 point, but I like to keep it moving over 1200, so I'm not so anxious about falling under it again. Yeah, if we can get a few wins under our belt and gain just a few more points of ELO, I'd feel pretty comfortable, and we could just move on from 1200. That would be great. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I thank you for all the support, and I will catch you guys next time.